Hi, welcome. In this video we will talk about modular data or modular information and how to add them using scriptable objects in Unity, which you can add reusable objects easily to your character and other game objects. So stick around until the end. Consider you want to add some basic attributes, properties, and also methods to your character or other components. For example, health, movement speed, a method for getting the velocity of the player, and so on. These are the basic attributes and methods related to the player, or you can add other information for other components. The basic way is to, for example, consider this C# script. Have a public int health, public float movement speed, and also public vector tree, which we want to get the velocity of the character. Here get velocity return, get component, for example, character controller dot velocity. These are the basic information related to the player. But we have a problem. If we want another information, for example, replace the health value, the movement speed value, or the logic of the get velocity, we need to replace the entire code. Consider we have other methods and attributes related to the player, not just the basic information. We have complicated logics. So it's hard to replace the health, movement speed, and other information one by one. And also it's hard to add other players. For example, we have this cube. This is one player, and this is the second player, and this is the third player. These players have different and various attributes and properties. So we need to change the entire script and component based on each player. This is going to be hard if our project grows and makes our work very hard to modify, to extend it. So we have a concept called scriptable objects. Scriptable objects add modular pieces, modular and reusable data and information for any component one, such as basic information for the player or for a car and other stuff. We can easily declare a mono behavior for a specific scriptable object and add that object here. And we need to assign that object to a variable in the creature.c#. And easily we can use the information defined in that scriptable object. And we don't need to define the basic information. Let's add mono behavior script, an ordinary mono behavior script, and creature, name it creature data. Alright, here we need to clear everything, and instead of mono behavior, which creature data inherited from, I need to change it to scriptable object class. Scriptable objects, as I said, are pieces that we need to clone from the base scriptable object. Here we can easily right click and create and select our object and clone another object from it. So we need to define a menu for the create menu. Here we can do it using an attribute called create asset menu. Create asset menu takes two arguments. First is the file name, which we can pick a custom name, for example, creature data. And here we have a menu name, which is the path of the scriptable object. Your creature and slash creature data. Alright, here if we get back to the Unity, we can easily here create a folder called data, and here go to the create, and as you can see we have a creature menu here that this is the path we have added here, creature and creature data. Here we don't have any properties here. Base creature data. This is the first data related to the creature we have here. And here we can define the properties and the methods, the base methods and properties. For example, public int health, or public float movement speed, or public vector tree get velocity. Here let's get character controller instead of getting the character controller from here using the get component, because it doesn't make sense. Character controller, and here return character controller dot velocity. Alright, these are the base structure of the creature. Now, as you can see, we have access to health and movement speed, and we can define everything we want. For example, 100, and for the movement speed I can select 10. Let's duplicate it and create another creature. For example, let's rename this to creature type 1, and this is the creature type 2. Type 2 has a health of 150 and movement speed is 8. Now, how to assign these data and scriptable objects to the players? We only need to remove all the information in the creature script. Here we need to define the public creature data, this scriptable object class, and current data. Right, now for this cube I need to add a creature script, and here in the current data I can assign one of these profiles, and for the other cube assign the creature type 2. So we can easily add other types and other data and add it to the data related to a specific component. Easily we have modularity, and also can change it at the runtime. Now let's do 2 steps. The first one, how to use it. We have a method here called move, and here I want to move the character. Transform.translate new vector tree. For example, I want to move it along the x-axis. So here I pass a value 2f and multiply it by the current data and movement speed. And for the y we have 0, and for the z we have 0 as well. And we get the movement speed from the current data easily. Or also can get the velocity easily here. Pass the character controller here. Now the second step is to replacing the current data. For example, in the game we want to change the data. If the character change its state from walking to running, or maybe the character changes its entire state, the animation, the health, the movement speed, and so on. So we can declare 2 scriptable objects here. For example, data type 1, public creature data, data type 2. Now let's declare a method called getAngry. Here we want to change the current data and replace it by, for example, data type 2. Current data equals to data type 2. And we have another method, get relaxed current data equals to data type 1. So here we can change and replace the current data. And in the stored or awake method, we can pick the data type 1 for the initial point, get relaxed. Here we call the get relaxed, and the initial value of the current data will be data type 1. And also the other methods and other instructions which use this current data will be changed. For example, here instead of 10, which is the type 1, we have the 8. Now here we have 2 extra fields. We can assign this and assign this for type 1 and type 2. Also, we can add many extra features, but we don't have access to stored, awake, and update in the scriptable objects. We can add icons, images, other complicated methods. We don't have any limitations. This type of classes give us modularity and reusability. I explained the scriptable objects and use it in a more complicated project for the inventory system that you can watch the tutorial here on my channel. Also, the link is in the description. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Feel free to share your questions and ideas in the comments.